So I'm here at the Home Depot. I was just looking at these appliances, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, well, thanks to your government, you're going to have no choice in the future but to buy one of these right here, these induction stoves. Now, as you know, I actually have this one right here, and I've been relatively happy with it. This is the Samsung 30-inch 5-element, so I have the warming center. I had a choice between having one that had a warming center and having one that didn't. But basically, yeah, I have this. My model's different than this, and I can tell because this pot size is different than this pot size. On my stove, this and this are the same size. These are the same. So 1, 2, 3. I have this, but this is a larger pot boiler. I think both of my pot boilers are the same size as this. This is a small one. And I see they have this as small. So basically, some people who've never cooked with electric stoves, they might be like, oh, yeah, well, it doesn't work as well as gas. To tell you the truth, it pretty much actually works about the same as gas. The only problem is with gas, you can turn down the heat faster. With these things, they stay hotter longer. So if you go from high straight to off, the thing is still fucking hot. And if you had water boiling at the point where you turn it off, that water is going to continue boiling for a couple of minutes before it starts getting cooler. And it's not going to get cooler anytime soon. It takes a lot of time for the surface to cool down. So it'll keep boiling. Other than that, the stove is fine. It bakes perfectly. I haven't had any problem with that. The only other thing I should point out is because they've made these things aesthetically pleasing, like these are flat surfaces right here. The problem is if you have a pot here, and the pot has a flat bottom, that pot can literally spin or slide sideways. Like it can literally spin or slide. And that may or may not be a good thing if you have kids around. In fact, I had a stove, the stove that I threw out was actually just like this one right here. Now this is a lot newer and a lot newer condition, but I actually had a stove just like this. Both of them worked on 220 volt or 240 or whatever it is. But this is the future. You have no choice. They're going to make it so that you can't buy a gas stove because the kids are going to get asthma. So we have to take away the gas stoves because the children will get asthma. And guess what? If they take away the gas stoves, guess what they're coming for next? They're coming for your gas dryer. See your dryer right here, your dryer and your washing machine? If you have a gas dryer, they're coming for that too. So I was looking here. Fortunately, I'm not currently in the market for appliances. I was just looking, as far as gifts and stuff, if I wanted to gift somebody an appliance. But this is like the new Samsung right here. And some people have had problems with Samsung. I haven't had any problems with it. It's been good to me. I have a full Samsung system and I haven't had a problem. But then I was looking at this Whirlpool right here. This thing has they've gone from aluminum, like they have like an aluminum body, but then they have lots and lots of plastic areas and everything now. And I mean, it looks cool. The only problem is if it's not all metal, it's like you're gambling. And it's like you don't know, This looks nice. I actually, when I do my clothes, I actually use these dispensers the way it's supposed to be used. This is a cool one. So they're saying this is a $900 washer, $900 dryer. And it's a smart dryer. So that means that the government can monitor that shit over the internet. Alexa, tell Smart HQ to clean cashmere. So that means that like if you're in your car or something and you call your dryer and say, hey, listen, I need you to dry something. It's like the dryer is supposed to respond. The dryer is supposed to start drying. That's some crazy ass shit. And I think these things come with a bottom drawer. That's pretty cool, but I can't honestly think of anything I'd put in the drawer. So everything's smart now. Yeah. So, they're coming after your gas dryer. After they're going to get your stove. Then they're going to come get your gas dryer. See, I'm just getting some plants for my little garden. So they're going to come get your stove. They're going to come get your dryer. Like how Samsung puts nice accents on everything. See, the one smart thing I did was I made sure I had a glass door for my dryer. I made sure I had a glass door for my washing machine. So, they look up to date. even though I have an older model. But as long as I don't have any problem with it, I don't have a problem with it, you know? Because I can't live without my washer and my dryer. I'll be goddamned if I'll ever go to anybody's laundromat. Not unless I'm in another country. No way. No way. I don't be up in people's... Look at this. Holy shit. Is that a button? Is this a button? What does that do? Fabric soil. Wow, this is some futuristic shit right here. Whoa, what the hell is this? What is this? Oh, I think you're supposed to be able to scrub stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, and it has an agitator. But I think, wow, a lot of parts in these things. This is 1,098. Jesus. What is this? This must be a Whirlpool Elite or something. It's got like regular buttons. Oh, they always got like nice stuff. Man, they have like nice stuff. Samsung and Whirlpool, they got some nice stuff, man. I don't think I'd be spending that kind of money on that, but it's nice. Yep, here's your future stove right there. You ain't got no choice. No more gas for you, loser. And it's funny because I already hear the restaurants already complaining. They're like, yo, listen, if we don't have gas-powered stoves, it's harder for us to cook. Because, like, when you watch, cooking shows, or if you're a professional cook, you understand it's like if you don't have gas, it's harder to control temperatures. One thing, and let me tell you something, $3,400. I liked the slate Whirlpool set that my mom got, or GE Profile, or whatever the hell it was. But I have to say, I want to get something like this. One of these freshness things for your refrigerator. I don't know if they sell these separate. I want to get one of these. Yeah, I want to get this. I got to see if they sell those separately. But one of the things I don't like about these refrigerators is they're not very deep. It's like if you have a water dispenser, then that means that this entire side is already basically taken up. And if you don't have it, then this is all the space you get. That's not enough space. It's like, what about people when you're trying to store stuff on these shelves? That's not enough space. Like, they make it like this thing is $3,000, but these freeze. I mean, this has a deep freezer, but this isn't a lot of space. These things are like, what is it? These things are like flush with the wall, and this is not enough space. It's like these things are too small, and it's funny because they look huge, but they're not. It's like a lot of these appliances, man. It's like they make them look cool and everything. Oh yeah, by the way, we're in Home Depot. And as you know, right now, there seems to be a trend with Home Depot baddies. I haven't seen no baddies today, but we'll be on the lookout. So other than that, oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell are you? What is this? So anyway, we'll be on the lookout for baddies. I haven't seen any baddies yet, but apparently women at Home Depot feel that they can just take photos in their Home Depot uniforms and still keep their job. And apparently Home Depot's Home Resources, the Human Resources Department, is there to tell you, no, you can't. And they're firing them like one by one. Okay, this is the Smart Stack right here. $1,098 for the dryer, $1,098 for the washer. And it looks like it's got like smart controls and everything. This is nice. If I had a little ass apartment, I would consider it. Yeah, you could probably switch the side of the the door. You can switch it. I don't have one of these, but I don't even know what that's really for, so I guess I don't really need it. I think this is for sneakers, like you put the sneakers here and then the thing dries it. That's nice. Yeah, it's like they got so much future shit. And it was funny because after I went to South Korea, being in South Korea and seeing what Samsung was offering to their people there, like they were offering them all types of futuristic, like crazy cool stuff, stuff that we can't get here. Beverage center. What is this? It's like a Brita or something. Water filter. Oh shit, they got a water filter right there. What is that? Oh, I see. So you slide the filter in there. Oh, that's cool. Oh, and then they have a full beverage thing on this side. I don't know how that works. I guess how you get your water? Open here? Oh, okay. How you do this? Oh, you gotta pull it. Oh, it's got a built-in Brita. What? That's not enough. It's not enough water. You're better off just buying your own boiler. And this is for putting in water. That's pretty cool, but when you look at the refrigerator itself, it's not a lot of space. You know, especially if you're a big family. But this is nice. This is how much they want for this shit. $3,000, $2,900. Control your smartphone, your smart home. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Samsung always got all this cool stuff, but it's like $4,000 and $3,000. It's like, how much do you want to pay? You want to have a mortgage on your refrigerator? I don't know. You want to have a mortgage on your refrigerator? That shit is crazy. Extra power. Gotta push that for extra power. Huh? This is only $800. Well, one thing I have to say is thanks to the manufacturing in Asia, all of this stuff has relatively gotten less expensive. It's like now you can get a washer or a dryer that looks nice and it's only like $700. Like this one right here, this is $647 for GE profile. And it has an agitator too. Me personally, I don't really miss the agitator because one problem with the agitator is sometimes it starts tearing your clothes apart. Like it literally take a string and it'll rip that string apart until it tears the clothes apart. God damn, look at this. You know, it's not a good thing to have floor models that get abused and damaged that badly, you know? Because when you get abused and damaged that badly, that kind of tells us that it's not going to last that long. Keep in mind, we're at Home Depot, so we're still looking for baddies. I don't see any yet. So what else we got? We got the LG right here. Thin Q. This is $1,098, $898. Yeah, it's nice. It doesn't have the coolness of the Samsung or the Whirlpool, but what's this? The Thin Q. I'm not a fan of LG. I'm not really a fan of LG, though. What is this? Black steel. Something 314. It's a pedestal. Oh, so they're charging you $314 for those pedestals. What is this? Yeah, the pedestals. They're charging you topped up. Man, this is expensive. This shit is like $3,000 right here. The whole set is $3,000 because they're charging you $314 for the pedestal. Then they're charging you $698 for that one. So you have to basically add up all four. And you basically come out to about $3,000. No, actually, it's more. It's like $3,200. Man, so that's expensive. Shit. I'm going to have a mortgage on my laundry. My laundry got a mortgage. That's deep. All right, keep in mind, we're still looking for baddies. I haven't seen none yet. No Home Depot baddies. Have you seen any? I haven't seen no Home Depot baddies yet. No baddies just yet. See this guy right here, he's badass. Walking sideways and everything. No problem. All right, I guess it's, you know, it's damn near closing time. It's like 7 o'clock, so it's like you're not going to find no baddies at 7. They probably work early and they get the hell out of here so they don't have to front and face shit later in the day. Oh, what kind of dog is that? A terrier. Oh, nice dog. Yeah. Terrier. I had a dog that looked just like that. His name was Fluffy. He was a Bichon Frise, but he was smaller. Like, that dog looks like a mutant dog. Like, that's a powerful dog that was genetically engineered or something. I don't see any baddies. No. Yeah, so I guess that's, you know, I basically just wanted some plants. I don't know if there's anything else I need. I pretty much have everything I need. Yeah, but I don't see any baddies though. This is not a baddie. But you know, no more baddies. Okay, so I guess I'm done. I don't need a bucket. No baddies. I don't think I need a bucket though. All right, so I guess that's about it. Just the plants, I think. Just the plants. Yeah. Maybe check this price on the screwdriver. I did want a power screwdriver. I had one. I think I lent it to somebody. I don't remember. You know, don't you hate it when you lend shit and you don't get it back? People borrow your stuff, don't give it back. Look at this. They got chains on the power sanders. Make sure those dudes who be waiting in the yard in the morning don't steal everything. They got chains on it. God damn. Usually the best time to buy a screwdriver and power tools is usually Black Friday, but I don't really need it now, so it's not that big a deal. I could get it later. Milwaukee. I don't know if I trust that shit. I used to like Craftsman. Oh, and then they have these sets right here where you can buy the battery. Yeah, you know, I think the music is going to demonetize me because they're playing music in the background. But hopefully, I wish they'd turn that shit off, but... Well, I don't see any air conditioners, so... Yeah, no air conditioners, no baddies. I don't see any baddies at all. So I guess that's about it. These are house plants. You know, I'm not buying indoor house plants. I was buying outdoor house plants, so... Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Best time to come to Home Depot is later in the day, so you don't have to deal with crowds. There's no baddies, though. Is that a baddie down there? Is that a baddie? No, doesn't look like it. It's not a baddie. We don't have any baddies. Damn. Got some bleach here. All right, well, I guess that's about it, I suppose. I don't think I need anything else right now. Uh-oh. I think we got a baddie. Is this a baddie? Is this a baddie? You gonna take photos? Nope. No, I don't think that's a baddie. Anything? Got glass shelves. It's like, I do kind of want some organizers. But this is not the place to do it. I got to get it from Bed Bath & Beyond. Yeah. Oh, yeah. These. But you got to build all this stuff. Yeah, this is $176. You still got to build this. And I don't think that weight is good enough because I have a lot of clothes I'd like to hang out. So, no, I don't think that's going to work. Oh, well. Let's keep going. Okay, I think I'm just going to pay for this and then I'm out. Yeah, I wonder how many of them are taking photos in the bathroom of themselves. It's like, yeah, look at me. I work at Home Depot, and I'm a baddie. Hold on. Yo, here's a question. Here's a question. They haven't had that problem here where, like, people taking photos and putting them on, what is it, the house. Really? Yeah, but they don't just fire, because I heard the one who did that got fired. No, I don't think he got fired. I think he's still here. She. No, the one who was here. He was here? Yeah, it was a guy. It was a guy? He posted photos of himself. He's still here, but they cut his hours. Oh, they cut his hours? God damn, that's fucked up. You pay cash? I'm paying card. All right, so anyway, let's get out of here before we get in trouble. All right, so let's go pay for this and get out of here. No, I heard they raised it to 18. It is 18, right? Yeah. Yeah, so minimum wage is 18, but to live here in New York City, you basically need like 100 an hour. So yeah, so they keep it up with the curve, right? That's ridiculous. All right, enjoy. You too, take care. Have a good weekend. My search for baddies was in vain, apparently. This isn't a baddie right here. Yeah, she might have used to be a baddie, but not anymore. So, yeah, my search for baddies was completely in vain. They do have plenty of herbs and vegetables and stuff you can grow, but that's about it. No baddies. We got caught searching for baddies. That's hilarious. But they're about to close. Yeah, they closed down the flower section. Let's get the hell out of here. Yeah, as you can see, I have to park special because I don't want these people parking next to me. So it's like I don't park next to these people. Yeah, watch my car, loser. Freaking Toyotas. Yeah. It is what it is. So. Everything's closing now, I suppose. Yeah, oh well. So our search for baddies was in vain, but hey, you know, there's always tomorrow. Oh shit, that guy's got a black S-Class 550 parked right there in regular traffic next to that big shitty van. I don't think I could do that. Uh-oh, is this a baddie? We got a baddie here? Nope. Oh, unfortunately, no more baddies. We didn't get no baddies here. So our search for baddies has been completely in vain. So much for that. Oh well. First thing I should mention is that I get a lot of people constantly ask me this question over and over and over about who I use to trade stocks and get dividends on stocks and shares that I hold. And up until recently, I used to use Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade was bought by Charles Schwab. So now both of those accounts have been merged together into Charles Schwab. So for those of you who are relatively new and don't understand stock trading, there are numerous routes you can go, but one of the newest things that they're offering is they're offering artificial intelligence-based trading. So basically, you have a machine or robot, artificial intelligent ETF trader, and what they're asking you is to give them $5,000 and you'll open up a robot trading account. So as you can see, this is an option there. Schwab Intelligent Portfolios. So they have automated investing solutions which build, monitor, and automatically rebalance a diversified portfolio of exchange-traded funds, ETFs, and a cash allocation based on your goals, time frame, and risk tolerance. It says get help from Schwab professionals at any time, pay no advisory fee and no commissions. Get started with as little as $5,000. Now, in my opinion, I wouldn't have started it at $5,000. As far as I'm concerned, you should be able to start with less than that, and the robot should be able to grow the account out. I remember when I started with Scott Trade, I believe that the minimum that they wanted for you to start was about $500. Of course, you were doing your own trading, you were buying your own shares. So my thing is, if you're talking about that this is artificial intelligent trading, technically, if this thing is really that good and really that smart, I should be able to give you $100 and you make it $5,000. Like this robot, I shouldn't even have to look at the account. I should just be able to come to it looking for the money that it made for that day or that week or that month, because that's what a robot should be doing. So this right here is kind of like the future of stock trading. They're going to have artificial intelligent machines buying and selling. Like they already do have this. Electronic trading funds already have bots working behind the scenes in many cases. That's why some days we have sudden crashes for no good reason, and some day we have rallies for no good reason. It happens. But this is one of the things that they are offering as a new product. So if you're new to stock trading and you know nothing about stock trading and you don't want to simply do what I suggest and build your own index like I did, my index is ManGoat, which is like Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Google, oil stocks, oil gas stocks, Amazon or AMD, and then there's Tesla. There's a couple other computer stocks like Micron, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, and there's a couple others because I also bet on the automotive companies, Ford, GM, Stellantis, Tesla, which I already mentioned. So, unless you really want to build your own index fund, in my opinion, building your own index fund is probably one of the better ideas. And the reason why is because if you buy into companies that you personally like, that you know of, that you like, and you like their product, that's actually one of the better ways to do it, because this way you are owning shares in a company that you personally like. Like, for example, Facebook dropped down to like below $100 a share. I didn't buy Facebook because personally I hate Zuckerberg and I don't like Facebook. So I wasn't going to buy into that company. I don't want them benefiting from my money. I don't care how much money they return on the profit. I just don't believe in the company. There are some people who refuse to buy shares in certain companies, whether they feel that the company has wronged them in certain ways or wronged their people in certain ways. I personally don't like Zuckerberg and I don't like Facebook, so I didn't invest in Facebook. Now, I have family members who invested in Facebook, and they got Facebook when it was like $50 a share. Good for them. But there are other companies out there who've offered returns on investment either similar or better than Facebook. Like, for example, I bought NVIDIA when it was dirt cheap, and my return on investment is extremely huge because right now NVIDIA is over $400 a share. And that's even after their stock split and whatnot. So it all depends on you. But there's just a couple of ways that you can possibly invest. And there's lots of options that are popping up, especially with this artificial intelligence mania. So just, look into it, do what you can afford. And my thing is they're going to have to, if they're going to use artificial intelligence to do stock trading, they're going to have to prove that artificial intelligence is good at stock trading. They're going to have to prove it. And it's not going to be easy to prove it because one of the problems is those artificial intelligent machines usually work on index funds. So whatever index you buy into, they put small amounts of your money in individual stocks or individual companies. So my thinking is that just to prove that AI isn't a bust, they're going to have to prove very quickly that they can take your 5,000 and make it something more. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, so that's the reason why I just wanted to dedicate this small segment to talking about this. All right, so the meat of this story, the next $1 trillion company. So they're talking about the next 7 companies that should hit $1 trillion. Now, most of these companies I've already talked about ad nauseum. And I've been doing it for the last couple of years because I knew that these companies were going to be big. Like, for example, Tesla. 3 years ago, I heard that Tesla was planning to open up their charging networks to other EV makers. So, for example, if you have a Ford Lightning or if you have like a Kia EV6, you'd be able to get an adapter and you'd be able to use the Tesla charger, right? So now GM and Ford are announcing aloud that they're going to have access to the Tesla charging network. I knew a long time ago that was going to be fantastic because Tesla is doing a lot of things that make a lot of sense from a profit point of view. However, I don't appreciate Tesla from an automotive point of view. As far as I'm concerned, their interiors suck. As far as I'm concerned, the available options on some of their cars suck. Their interiors are amateurish to me. The exteriors I'm fine with. I like the way they look on the outside. However, I think they do a lot of stupid things. Like, for example, with the Tesla Model X, it should have been possible to buy it without those gull wing or falcon wing doors or whatever you want to call them. It should have been possible to buy that car without those doors. And I really think that more people would have preferred that car if it had regular opening doors. But when Tesla does stuff, they do things in such an arrogant manner that you don't get options with Tesla. It's just like with the steering wheel. They made this fucking yoke steering wheel and you don't have a top and you don't have a bottom of the circle. So that means that you can't intuitively hold the wheel. So that you're forced to keep your hands at the 9 and the 3 position. Some people don't want to hold their wheel like that. If they had offered it as an option in the very beginning, I wouldn't have a problem with them. But it's like everything they do is so arrogant, but that's what you're dealing with. So me personally, I can't see buying a Tesla. I can't see doing it. Right now, when it comes to EVs, the Tesla Model Y is the number 1 selling EV in the world, even beating out the Chinese BYD and the Neos. Tesla's Model Y is doing very, very, very well. I would never buy one, not for myself. That said, it's like I knew Tesla was going to be an up-and-comer, and I know they're going to $1 trillion. That much is obvious. Other companies like Amazon, Google, it was obvious that they were going to be $1 trillion companies. Microsoft is in $2 trillion range. Apple is basically $3 trillion range. And now you have companies like NVIDIA that just hit $1 trillion. But NVIDIA, because of what they do and how they do it and the fact that there's basically no competition for them for what they do, NVIDIA may just end up being a $2 trillion company within the next 10 years. And more than likely that will happen, especially when you're talking about microchips, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence, because they've already been working on those things. So anyway, it says, I'm not going to read all of this. In the last decade, few companies have touched the magic $1 trillion valuation. Apple, Amazon, Alphabet are the names worth mentioning. While these businesses will continue to create value, I'm more interested in finding the next $1 trillion companies. An interesting point to note is that most of the $1 trillion valuation companies in the last decade were from the technology sector. Of course, there are potential opportunities in the sector even in the coming years. However, my focus in this column is largely on companies that are not from the technology sector. Throughout the history of equity markets, there have been surprises. I believe that the companies discussed below can surprise by creating massive value in the next 5 years. One of the key criteria for screening the next $1 trillion companies is the cash flow potential. Ultimately, it's free cash flows that determine the valuation. Let's discuss the reasons to be bullish on these potential next $1 trillion companies. All right, so first things first, Chevron. I've been saying this for God knows how long. Oil companies, gas companies. I knew the main oil, gas companies, Chevron, Exxon, Valero, BP, Citgo, what else? Occidental, which is the one that Warren Buffett bet on. I knew that these things were going to be huge because when I saw oil go negative in 2020, I was like, this is my opportunity to pile my money into it. And no sooner did I put my money into it than, I was buying shares of these companies for like, what was it, like 10 cents, 20 cents, $1.50. And these things were still paying dividends. And I knew that they were going right back up because there was no way in hell they were going to allow us to drive around in these cars and pay, what was it, like $1.50 for premium unleaded. I knew that wasn't going to last. Right now I'm paying, what is it? I paid $3.95 at BJ's this weekend to fill up my gas tank. $3.95, and that was up from last week by 10 cents. And this is at BJ's. So at BJ's, you're usually saving 10 or 11 cents because you're a shopper. But gas prices, oil prices are up. And I knew this was coming. I mean, we're going towards the summer. So this is the Biden presidency. The Biden presidency has been wasting our money in Ukraine, fluctuating gas prices, fluctuating oil prices, high inflation, whether you want to blame Jerome Powell for that or not. High inflation, high cost of living, unaffordable housing market. That's the Biden presidency. It's basically Jimmy Carter Part 2. And if it wasn't for the media focused on the Trump presidency and prosecuting him for it, if it wasn't for them focused on that, Biden would be getting hammered every single day, 24/7. So your media has effectively hypnotized you and distracted you, but they haven't distracted me. I keep my eyes on the prize. But anyway, Chevron, they're saying Chevron should be one of the next $1 trillion companies. As I've said, yes, eventually we are going green, quote unquote green. But the thing about it is these energy companies, they know how to diversify themselves and they will be the leaders of energy in the future. So even though right now they're focused on oil and gas, we're not leaving oil and gas for a long time. Oil and gas is going to continue to be the backbone of the aerospace industry. It's going to continue to be the cruise line industry's backbone. They ain't making no goddamn electric cruise ships no time soon. It's not happening. Where are you going to plug a Carnival cruise liner? Where are you going to plug that into? It's not happening. Not unless you have nuclear power plants and they're sitting there at Pier 17. It's like it's not happening no time soon. So oil and gas companies, and I believe there's a couple of them here mentioned, Chevron being one of them. This is going to be a $1 trillion company eventually. Okay? So Rio Tinto, I've never honestly heard of them before, and they say they focus on technology innovation when it comes to talking about next trillion-dollar companies. However, I would deviate and look at one of the most undervalued asset classes, industrial commodities. So they call it Rio Tinto. Rio expects that demand for companies' products will continue to grow. Me personally, I don't know a lot about Rio Tinto. They're saying, as an example, you're going to have lithium supply gap is likely to be acute by 2035. This will translate into surging lithium prices. Now, keep in mind, they have what's called the lithium triangle. And the lithium triangle is down in South America, Bolivia, and basically it's the companies connected to these countries that are right around Bolivia. But Bolivia is like the main one we're looking at when we're talking about lithium. So they call it the lithium triangle, and Bolivia is basically at the heart of it. And I talked about this actually in a different video. But obviously, if they're focusing on these electric vehicles, obviously, until they get different battery chemistry, lithium is going to be huge. Mining lithium is going to be huge. So, keep that in mind. Tesla, I think right now their valuation is close to $800 billion. Tesla is going to be $1 trillion soon. It says Tesla had the privilege of entering the $1 trillion club in October 2021. However, the latest pullback in Tesla stock was significant. Well, that pullback, for the most part, it looks like it's over, because as we're coming out completely of the pandemic, even though you still have China in the pandemic to some extent, the reality is Tesla is selling very well. They're taking over entire markets. My problem is when you have a single car manufacturer taking over entire markets, what you get is a boring car industry. And I mean, imagine you walk out in a parking lot and all of the cars there look exactly like yours, except they're just different colors. It's like, that's boring. And my thing is, we need as many competitors as possible. The problem is Tesla has such a good system for manufacturing. Until right now, there's no other EV maker that can really compete, with the exception of Hyundai and Kia. GM cannot compete on Tesla's scale yet. Tesla is basically planning to put out like 500,000 cars a year. GM and Ford are nowhere near that. Ford is having problems with the Ford Lightning. They're having problems with batteries for their cars, so God knows what they're going to be like. But I remain faithful. I'm going to keep holding and building my Ford shares, because Ford is one of the few companies that I can honestly say is a staple of America. They're not going to let Ford go away. Ford and GM, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. And right now, it's still a good buy opportunity for GM, because GM, the stock is like below $37. And that's down from like 66. So just like Tesla, but you also have to remember, why did they take the fall? As soon as America started these wars with China and Russia, as soon as America started these cold wars with China and Russia, as soon as America started that nonsense, everybody took a huge hit. Even the tech sector. You cut out what, 144 million Russians. And then China decided to go into lockdown, and then, it's like after that, you have recession over in China, you have a housing crisis now in China, you have a job market collapse in Shanghai and some of the large cities. I don't know how long it'll take to get back to normal. I think after Biden is long gone and a Republican is in office, hopefully Donald Trump. Well, I don't know. I have no idea about that part of the future, but, we can only remain enthusiastic. So Tesla's basically $1 trillion company. They touched $1 trillion and then they fell back, but don't worry, they'll be right back. AstraZeneca, healthcare, profiting on healthcare. AstraZeneca is another one you should be buying shares in. JP Morgan is a bank. All of the main banks pay dividends. JP Morgan's being the most expensive. I think it's around $140. If you had bought it back during the pandemic, like I told you, you probably could have gotten it for less than $80 a share. Same thing goes for Capital One. Same thing goes for Citibank. Same thing goes for Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo was like $50 a share. I think it rose and then it fell a little bit, but for the most part, the banks pay dividends, and those large banks aren't going anywhere. When the Federal Reserve is raising the interest rates, they're hurting the small banks. The big banks can adapt. but they're really hurting the small banks. When you're talking about J.P. Morgan and you're talking about Chase, J.P. Morgan Chase, you're talking about Capital One, you're talking about Wells Fargo, those banks ain't going nowhere. No time soon. Well, I mean, Wells Fargo got caught making fake accounts, and they're still there. It's like anybody else, any small bank would have been wiped out by something like that. Nope, not Wells Fargo. They're still there. They're going to be around for a while. So banks and oil companies, as you can see, the next one is ExxonMobil. Banks and oil, banks and oil, banks and oil, banks and oil, banks and oil. The airline ain't going nowhere. They proved it during the pandemic. See, and this is something else I wanted to talk about, but I'll just say it really quickly. What you really should do is look back to the pandemic and look back to when the stock market collapsed, like, what was it, like March 18th, March 19th? Take a look at the companies that survived during the pandemic and have come back with a vengeance right now. Those companies have proven that they are basically recession-proof. They have proven that even in a global pandemic that they're recession-proof. Oil banks, they didn't go nowhere. Now, the aerospace industry, the airlines, Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, what happened? Yeah, we weren't flying much. They were only flying like one plane every couple of hours or whatever, and they had cut back on aircraft, and they had cut back on travel and everything. Look at the airlines now. Have you priced a ticket lately? The airline's trying to make that money back, and the airlines are coming back with a vengeance. The reality is the airlines are inflation and recession-proof. No matter what happens with inflation, the airlines will be forced to take losses just to make sure that those planes stay flying. And when it comes to recession, even in a global pandemic and shutdown, they had to keep the airlines flying. They had no choice. There's a lot of shipping that goes on because of the airlines, and they ship products back and forth. They ship boxes back and forth. They use it for mail and carrying mail back and forth. The reality is they were never going to allow the airlines to collapse. They didn't care what the bailout was. They were going to write any check they needed to write for whatever reason. And they proved it to us. So those are the companies, whether they're profitable or not, those are the companies, those are the corporations that you focus on. Hopefully they pay dividends. The banks and the oil ones do. But certain companies, those are the ones that you know your money, for the most part, will be safe, because even when the unthinkable happens, the government cannot allow them to fall apart. GM, Ford, Stellantis, all that happened, their factories were used to make PPE because they had factories. That's the whole point. Factories produce shit. Production is the strength of the nation's economy, and that's just what it is. So just keep that in mind. What else? Walmart. Yeah, Walmart. I was thinking about this yesterday. I was in a Walmart. I was doing grocery shopping, and the reality is, Walmart ain't going nowhere. Like, Walmart is better than Amazon when it comes to grocery shopping. Amazon has a really sophisticated system where you can walk in. You don't have to talk to nobody. You don't have to engage with anybody at all. You can walk in, scan your phone, pick up food off the shelf, walk out, scan your phone, and you get a bill in the mail. Walmart doesn't have that yet, but Walmart's way of doing groceries and Walmart's way of selling products works. And it works real well because their prices are still lower than all of the competition. And yet they're continuing to be profitable, and they pay a dividend. So Walmart, if you don't have Walmart shares, you should have Walmart shares. If you have to, build up slowly, here and there, yeah, Walmart is worth having. It's too bad you couldn't get it during the pandemic, but, nobody's perfect. So those are the main companies that have been mentioned. And as you know, Apple is also in there, but they didn't mention Apple here, which is fine. But Apple is going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to get memberships and subscriptions, just like Tesla, just like Microsoft. They're going to just continue to grow more powerful and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the whole point, because that's their job as a corporation. That's their job. So the same thing goes for Google. The same thing goes for Amazon. They are focused on being, it's like every single company wants to be Apple at this point. They want to be as powerful as Apple are. They want to look as powerful as Apple does. They're all focused in that direction. So when you're thinking about where do you want to invest your money, and you think about the next 10 years, because my thing is, my investments, as far as the stock market, my investments are only basically focused on the next 10 years. By the time I retire, I want to be cashing out. I want to be on a foreign beach somewhere with a wife half my age who's rubbing my body down with coconut oil and serving me buko juice. And that's it. I have no aspirations of continuing to do anything in this society at all. You know how some people get a job and they're like, yeah, I just need a job. I need something. Nope, not me. I want to be on a foreign country, foreign beach, foreign wife, out of here. And meanwhile, while y'all are here fighting over like living spaces and parking spots, and y'all are living like Judge Dredd over here, like where you got mega cities and mega city blocks, you're living on top of each other, I'm going to be on a beach somewhere. It's like, it's just that simple. I have no aspirations of working beyond work. I'm going to retire. I'm going to live my last days chilling. I might even learn to surf for all I know. I don't know shit about surfing. I might learn how to surf. I'm just be on the beach all day long, just chilling. And that's it. Just honey, would you get me the buko juice? And that's it. You know? And that's what I'm talking about. I ain't trying to do nothing at all. So it is what it is. But everybody has a different idea about retirement. Some people have bucket lists. I've already done my bucket list. I've got nothing planned. And that's it. Not unless we have like technology to get it to the moon or Mars. Like these Bitcoin holders said they were supposed to be on the moon or Mars by now, but that didn't happen. So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, it is what it is. But you got to plan your money out. You want to get dividend paying stocks. Banks and oil are the best place to start. The tech industry, the tech industry wavers now and again. But the thing about it is there's certain key players like Microsoft and Apple. They've been around long enough for you should be able to trust them. Microsoft, Apple, Tesla. It's like there's certain key players who they basically are going to dominate for a long time. And granted, the market is going to change. There will be new companies that pop up and gain popularity. And you should also have money ready to possibly invest in those. But the point is, you want to have dividend-paying stocks. Why? Because I've built a dividend-paying portfolio that, well, actually, I've built two of them. But anyway, even if I don't put any more money into the stock market, just by waiting for the dividends to come back, it's enough money where I can buy more shares. And by reinvesting those dividends, I actually get to a point where I can continue to buy dividend-paying shares using money that came from dividends from shares of before. So this way, I don't have to physically put more money into the bank unless I absolutely want to buy a larger stake in a different company. But for the most part, if I don't put a dime down, I'm still getting thousands of dollars back each year. And that's what you want to focus on. And there's only a couple of companies that are going to give you that. And the big players, Ford, GM, Microsoft, Apple, the biggest of players. The reason what you may have been hearing lately that most stocks really aren't doing well. The majority of the growth has only been a handful of companies. And when we say a handful of companies, we're basically talking about these $1 trillion and these multi-billion-dollar corporations. They're the ones that are moving with the most swiftness. Everybody else is kind of stagnant right now. So that's worth thinking about. Where do you want to have your money? How much money do you want your money generating within the next 10 years? So even if you're starting from zero, you can still build a dividend-paying portfolio, and you can start right now. You can start overnight. And that's what you need to focus on. So for all these scam artists talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, all that shit, listen, that ship sailed. Federal Reserve raised those interest rates, they killed the crypto market. The crypto market is dead. Anybody who's still lying to you, talking about their gains in crypto, yeah, tell them, pull up to my house in your Lamborghini and take me for a ride. And I guarantee you that'll shut them down real quick. Oh, well, I wouldn't buy that. I mean, tell them to show you their crypto house that they bought with Bitcoin. Right. Yeah. That'll shut them down real quick. All these scam artists. There's so many scam artists. In fact, let's look at the crypto market real quick. I love making fun of these guys. I'm not going to harp on this too long. Bitcoin, this is Father's Day, June 18th, 2023. I remember hearing all these proclamations. Bitcoin will be $100,000 by summer 2020. I remember these proclamations. Bitcoin will be $1 million by 2022. I remember people, Ethereum's going to the moon. It's going to be $10,000 by 2020. I remember XRP. Did you buy your XRP? XRP is hitting 50 cents. It's hitting 50 cents. Now, never mind the fact that the people who bought in when it was $3 have lost all of that money. Never mind that. But XRP, you hold XRP, you hold XRP. I hope you hold XRP. We're looking for the lawsuit to end any day now. They're going to give us a judgment any day now. No, that hasn't happened. Dogecoin, we're going to the moon. We're going to dollar. That hasn't happened. Nope. Just hasn't happened. I could go on and on making fun of this nonsense, but the reality is, and I know they're always looking for somebody to blame, but if I had to blame anybody, I'd blame the Federal Reserve just like everybody else should be. The reality is, cheap money is no longer cheap. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates. All those people who were borrowing on margin, all those people who were spending money that they shouldn't have been spending, and I don't even want to use the word investing. All those people who were gambling on Bitcoin. As far as I'm concerned, gambling on Bitcoin is not really that much different than you gambling on Dave and Buster's tokens. Because the reality is, why the fuck are you taking physical money and changing it to a token? A token is whatever they say it's worth. $1 is worth $1. It's worth 100 cents. But these Bitcoin, it's like people got suckered out of a lot of money. And I feel bad for them because they really thought that the last bull run, that if I'm not mistaken, barely got them to $30,000 of Bitcoin after losing $38,000, because Bitcoin was at $68,000 like within the last 2 years sometime. Once the Federal Reserve raised these interest rates, they killed the crypto market. They absolutely killed it. So my thing is, I don't even think at this point that even the kids can afford to gamble on these cryptocurrencies anymore. I think they've been disheartened, because the thing about it is, it was one thing during the pandemic to be sitting at home having nothing to do except gamble on the internet with your money. But I think watching the crypto market take a gigantic shit and lose more than 70% of all the money, I think that's left a negative, sour taste in people's mouths. I think it has. I think watching themselves lose 65% of their value left a sour taste in these people's mouths. So the bottom line is, it's like, I'm not going to keep harping on this. I'm not going to. I keep telling my crypto detractors, wake me when Bitcoin gets back to 68,000, and then I'll start paying attention. Because right now, it's like kicking it while it's down. I'll be kicking it for a long time because it's going to be down indefinitely. It's not going nowhere. And on top of that, the other ones ain't going nowhere either. They're not going nowhere. And the sad thing is, Bitcoin holds more than 45% of all of the value of all cryptocurrencies. Like Bitcoin is 45%, more than 45%. So the rest of them ain't shit at all. Like everything else, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, all these things are such small percentage, it doesn't even matter. But It is what it is. Now, and I'm not saying that the blockchain is stupid or anything. No, no, no. The blockchain has plenty of real-world practical uses. Cryptocurrency itself may have plenty of real-world practical uses, especially if you live in shitty countries that have either been sanctioned by America and you're trying to figure out ways around American sanctions, or if you just happen to be a drug dealer trying to launder money. Yeah, cryptocurrency does have some real world applications. Just like that guy, Michael Saylor. Oh, well, if you buy Bitcoin, if you get on a plane, if you had $100,000 in U.S. cash, they wouldn't even let you on the plane. But if you're on the plane, they would say you stole that money. Now, if you have a Bitcoin, you can take the Bitcoin onto the plane. You can have billions of dollars in Bitcoin, and nobody knows anything about it because you've got it in your ledger, your wallet, your Bitcoin ledger. That guy, I can't even understand why that guy is still not in jail. Him and, what was that guy? The guy from Celsius. What's that guy's name? It'll come back to me. But I don't understand why these people haven't been locked up. But and Peter Schiff exposed Mashinsky. That was his name, Alex Mashinsky. Peter Schiff exposed him as a Ponzi schemer when this guy is literally saying, yeah, well, we have, because you know how I always argue with these crypto people. I'd be like, yeah, crypto doesn't pay dividends. You put your money in that shit and you have no idea if it's going up or down, and now you're afraid to take out your money. At least when you buy dividend paying stock, your money can stay in there while you earn a dividend on the money that's there. These people, oh, yeah, well, you can get a dividend. All you got to do is stake your money. Just stake your money. Stake your crypto. Stake your crypto. So anyway, Alex Mashinsky was literally promising that they were going to have 10% returns. And Peter Schiff was like, wait a minute. How the fuck do you have 10% returns when, the government itself is not even giving you a 3% return? How do you have a 10% return? All Ponzi schemes get exposed immediately. But the problem is most people don't want to hear it and they don't want to believe the truth. So people kept on investing. Next thing you know, Celsius went under. Just like FTX. Still waiting to see them throw Sam Bankman-Fried right into a wall upside. I'd flip him into the cell. I'd flip him and throw him into the wall. And that hair, all that hair he's got, I don't know if that could cushion the blow that he would get when his head hits that wall. But I would like to see. With a bowling ball, you throw it real hard and everything. But anyway, I don't understand how these people are still not in jail, not in prison. They should be in prison. In a foreign prison, not like American prison, because we're full of shit and we treat people with respect or something like that. I'd throw them in a foreign prison and make them pay for their crimes. But anyway, my thing is, it's I don't even waste my time with these crypto. First of all, they've all disappeared. They've all disappeared. These guys used to be everywhere. The crypto gurus, they used to come out. They used to do their little hijinks and their little dog and pony show. And they're pointing your attention to charts that they don't understand. I thought that was funny. But you don't even hear from them anymore. Crypto Doug, Crypto Nick, all these guys just disappeared. Disappeared. They suckered you out of your money, and then they just disappeared. And that's it. Poof, gone. Like Cinderella in the night. Cinderella at 12 o'clock. She's like, I got to get home. Where's my pumpkin at before it turns into a pumpkin? I got to get back into my carriage before it turns into a pumpkin. Poof, gone. Gone. They're just gone. Yeah, that's the market for you. That's the market. So that's all I'm saying. You got to focus on these dividend-paying stocks. If you don't, well, I'll be on the beach with a young wife, half my age, rubbing me down with coconut oil, giving me the buco juice, and giving me lots of other stuff. And you'll be stuck right here fighting people for your health care, fighting people for parking spaces. You're going to be overpopulated by illegal aliens. And that'll just be it. So that's all I had to say for right now. So happy investing this Father's Day.
To be continued.